Hello, this is Eddie from AppSheet, here to help you better understand how to turn the 7 key principles of HACCP into effective processes to manage your food production operations. To start with, let's review the 7 key principles. Identify the hazards, identify critical control points, set critical limits, establish monitoring procedures, apply corrective actions, establish verification procedures, and establish record-keeping and documentation procedures. Collectively, these form the hazard analysis and critical points. If you want a deeper understanding of this topic, check out the blog link in this video description. So from here, I'm going to share with you how you can turn these principles into effective process management by building your own custom application without code directly from a cloud-based spreadsheet like Google Sheets or Excel and Office 365, Dropbox Box, or SQL, Salesforce, or Smartsheet. So here you can see that I've pre-populated a simple application spreadsheet. Our column headers, which should always be located in the first row, include unique ID, date, time, temperature, image, status, and notes. In this case, our mock application will be measuring the temperature of raw meat. Now what we're going to do is convert this spreadsheet into an application using AppSheet, a no-code application development platform. If you're in Google Sheets, you can go ahead and install and utilize the add-on, or you can head over to appsheet.com and start for free. If it's your first time in the system, it'll walk you through a quick sign-up process. And from here, we'll go to New App. We'll start with our own data, and we'll call this HACCP, Example App. Now we'll select our data, we'll choose Google. Now you can see that AppSheet has taken its first crack at turning our spreadsheet into a functional mobile app. If you'd like to follow along, you can go ahead and download the simple data set from the description in this video as well. So I'm going to walk through a quick overview of the app editor, but keep in mind that I'll be skipping over many of the different features and functionalities of the platform to keep this basic for a first-time user. So the first place we would go is the data section. And here you can see that we have our inspections table. And let's go ahead and allow adds and deletes so that we can add and delete rows of data directly from our app into our spreadsheet. If we had multiple tables from that spreadsheet, or if we even wanted to integrate different data sources from other places, we could do so just by adding another table. And now we'll move to columns. Here you can see that AppSheet has done its best job at understanding what type of data that we're going for from our columns in our spreadsheet. In this case, we have a unique ID, which generates a unique ID for each row, and AppSheet has automatically detected that that is our key, and it's created an initial value using the expression unique ID to generate a unique value each time. And AppSheet is using the initial value of now to specify right now whenever you create a new entry. Over here in the status section, let's go ahead and change this from text to an enumerated list. And what that means is we're just going to give users 2 options. And we're going to have these be compliant and not compliant. We're going to require this. Now we'll save our app. So from here, let's jump over to our app UX. And you can see that AppSheet has pre-designated 2 primary views, inspections and calendars, which show up right here. Now we can create up to 5 views along the bottom and additional views in the menu if we'd like. So heading into our inspections, you can see that we are using a deck view right now. We could also use a table or a gallery. In this case, I prefer the deck. We can also sort this. Let's go ahead and sort this by date. And we can also change our headers. In this case, let's have our date time be our first one, and our temperature for the temperature of our meat to be our secondary header. Finally, let's go ahead and change our display icon. And since this is an inspection, let's go ahead and use binoculars. So there we have our first view here in the calendar section. Let's go ahead and change our description. Now we can see by date which inspections were compliant and which were not compliant. Now let's add a new form view for inspections. And we'll put this in the center. And this just allows us to go ahead and add a new entry. And now we have our 3 primary views. Let's go ahead and head over to brand. We can change our logo or our color schemes. In this case, our logo actually works well. We'll also head over to format rules. And let me just give you an example of this. We could do one for not compliant. And we could say that when the column status is equal to, from the enumerated list, not compliant. And this is again using an AppSheet expression. We can go ahead and say that for our date time, let's go ahead and make our text red. So we'll save this. Now you can see that our date time is red because 37 degrees is above our upper limit. So at any point in the app development process, you can also preview other form factors. Here you can see the app in a vertical screen or horizontally as a tablet or in full screen as a web app. So from here, let's jump over to our behavior. We could create new actions. Actions allow us to jump to different parts of the app or start phone calls or emails or things like that. In this case, let's go ahead and just skip this. We could also use a workflow. In this case, I will go ahead and make a workflow for, again, not compliant. And we'll say that, again, whenever there is a change in inspections and our column status is equal to not compliant, then let's go ahead and email. We'll say supervisor@appsheet.com. And we could also create a report, and we'll just call this monthly report. And again, you can say at these times, specify what time of the month or week or day. For our table inspections, let's go ahead and email supervisor@appsheet.com. We'll save all that. Now we'll head over to security. You can see that in this case, we are requiring user sign-in through Google authentication. We could also head over to users. At any given point, we could share our app with test users, tester@appsheet.com, or share it with an entire domain. And when we're ready, we can head over to not deployed, hit that, and it will run a deployment check for us. And in this case, let's go ahead and move our app to a deployed state. So here you can see that I have my personal phone. We'll go ahead and head over to my email. We'll find the install link from AppSheet. We'll install this in Safari on iOS or Chrome on Android. Hit install. If it's your first time on mobile, it'll walk you through downloading the AppSheet app. So here you can see that we have our fully functional basic app. We have our inspections. We could jump into each one. We could edit these as needed. We could go over to calendar. We could see compliant, not compliant by date. And we could also go to our form, create a new one. Again, unique ID and date time are generated. We'll say this is 29 degrees. We could also take a photo. In this case, we have some wonderful chicken right there. We'll use that. And we will say status is compliant. It's under 32 degrees. We'll say great chicken. And we'll save this. Now we have a new entry, which is also synced to our Google spreadsheet. And that is what it looks like to put the 7 key principles of HACCP into practice with a custom application. And so I hope you found that helpful. Feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions or thoughts. And when you're ready, go ahead and download the sample data in the YouTube description to get started, or just head over to appsheet.com and check out our sample apps or start from free utilizing your own data. Thank you so much for watching.